welcome back. So here we are. We are home after Redwood Rally 2024. Things went really well, honestly.
Those are my parents.
Are they? Oh,
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
I don't have the crew with me here because I'm just out here doing work by myself, but we had some challenges. Clearly, both of us had some challenges. I feel like I had more than she did. She at least figured it out in the end. I came home with problems.
Never freaking let off in second gear because I'm a wuss. I could have been doing that the whole time because I'm a sissy ass.
The biggest one's on my mind. The transmission is going to need to be rebuilt. I haven't been in this thing for a few weeks. I went over there, just kind of pulled it through the gears, and it's crunchy first, second. It's either got a bunch of junk in the fluid or some things are broken. We're going to drain the fluid in that and just see how it looks. If it needs to be sent out or I do it myself. I've not rebuilt a manual before, so I'm not sure how that's going to go, but it seems doable. So we may do that. So we're going to address the belt issue. Currently making 10, 11 pounds of boost. It should be making like 15 to 18 pounds of boost. We ran a 10.4 at 135 was our best time, which is great. I really wanted to be in the 9s this last year, and it's kind of on me. But it's also just kind of how these things go, right? So your first question would probably be, why didn't you do the calculator and see what the boost was? So I did do calculators. I did multiples as I explained in my other videos, but I did not find a calculator that was able to compensate for the parts that I had and give me an accurate reading for how much boost I should be making. I wish I could have done better on the Redwood Rally. However, I just wasn't able to figure that out in time. And then the other part was, I think it's gonna take a lot of work to get the front of the accessory drive to fit in there. This is all leading up to, we got a new front drive accessory kit off of a CTSV. It came with well, I don't actually know everything it came with. I got some pictures and they're okay, but I need to open the box and see what's what. So it's supposed to have power steering, water pump, all the brackets, the supercharger, idlers and tensioners, alternator. I told him to keep the AC pump because I made mine and it's like barely in there. It's very tight. I don't know if the spacing in front of the engine is enough. I don't know if I can fit all of that in there with the radiator and shroud and stuff that I have. If I have to buy a new shroud, not the end of the world. If I have to buy a new radiator and a shroud, that's pretty expensive. So all of this to lead up to me opening the box and us going through it together. So this box was lost in shipping. I guess someone put the wrong label on it. So it ended up at some other person's house last week. I was supposed to get it last week, got it today. They got the label put back on, and then I didn't have any information from UPS, right? So the seller reached out to me, very nice guy. I want to be honest. He went above and beyond by actually calling UPS. Said he was on the phone for 9 hours to figure out what happened. I appreciate that because that would have been my 9 hours. And he was able to get the package back in UPS's hands and get it here. So that's great. And so what I need to do is get the box open and just see how banged up it is. A lot of that stuff is really heavy. It was a 50-pound box, and I picked it up and it feels kind of squishy, like there's not a lot of stuff covering other stuff. The other things I'm hoping to do in this video, we got new headers. So currently on the car, they're mid-length 1 3/4. I bought some long tube 1 7/8 headers. I think they're made by Stainless Works. Either way, they're beautiful. I'm gonna get here on the table, we're gonna lay it out, and then we'll talk about some more things. All right, so I got this from a local guy who lives near me. Took him off his Nova, he's going turbo. Great deal for me, very happy with it. They're honestly in great shape. I could clean them if I really cared, but I don't think I do. They have these cool new like heat sink flanges, which is great. I've seen good things about those. And overall they look good, except when I picked them up, he told me last second, he's like, oh hey, by the way, I already paid the man. And Brian, this is no dig on you, but just like in the future, I would totally tell somebody about this, because if I was going out if I was going all out for horsepower, this would have affected my sale. I might have just passed on them and bought different ones. But I think they're gonna be fine, and if they aren't, then I'll fix them. But they have a notch here in these two tubes, I'm assuming a steering shaft. It's done very well, like very well. Whoever welded these did a great job. Just not what I was looking for. So, we got headers. I'm gonna go get the shipping box, we'll look at those. All right, here's the box. The only thing I've done is cut the label off for the address. Shipper used duplicate label by mistake. I'm not sure who wrote that or why, but whatever. So let's get this thing open. Like I said, my fingers are crossed. This is a pretty banged up box here. Okay, here we go. We got just some chunks of cardboard. More burn material. So that is the supercharger bracket. So this stuff's rough, right? I got a really good deal on it, but it's just rusty. It's like surface rust. This stuff's aluminum. If I cared, I could probably clean it up in the ultrasonic cleaner. But for the deal I got it for, shoo, as long as it all survives, I guess. Oh boy. There's bags separating metal parts. Wow. Okay, well, I'm surprised that nipple didn't break off. GM water pump. That thing will run forever. Ooh, it even came with a gasket. Look at me. Score. That looks fine. I think all that looks okay. Yeah. It's definitely the supercharger tensioner. It's huge. Bearing feels okay, so that's good. Bolt doesn't come out, that's why it's not out. Good to know. Really hoping this alternator's not dead. I should go test it, actually. I should go down to AutoZone and have it tested. It feels good. Well, this thing's compact. I run that giant ass truck alternator. It's like twice as big as this one. I gotta figure out the plug here. It looks simple enough. There's only 2 wires. Yeah, and this is a Denso. This is like a stock alternator. This thing's probably good. Another tensioner. This is for the accessory drive. Cool. I'm saving the best for last, which is the power steering pump, the one that I'm really worried about. A lot of things can be wrong there. So this is the stock tensioner. He sent me belts. What a guy. Okay. 8 PK 1655. Look that up and see if that's the stock size. I'm guessing it ain't. And all the bolts, I imagine. I'm also unsure of how this is going to hook to my rack. Hoping that it does without much issue. This looks bent. I don't think it's supposed to be like that, but it doesn't matter. Mine's not going that way anyways. Fluid actually looks pretty clean. Ooh, I hope so. Okay, there it is. That looks pretty good. So I think with this, let me go get the other piece. All right. So, one thing that I feel like I should definitely tell my fellow car enthusiasts, just watch social media posts on your groups, right? So if you're interested in LSA stuff, join the LSA group. Just watch it, right? Set it to notify you when people post things. And it's annoying, it's a lot of extra information. However, this entire setup right here, which came with the AC compressor and the AC brackets, which I told them to keep, was $500. It was $500 shipped, $500. Which is a great deal because this alternator is like $250. The water pump, if you buy it new from GM, it's like $200. And and all the miscellaneous brackets and stuff. It's usually around $1,000. Someone told me $3,000 if you buy all new stuff. So that's great. But I also got these two items. So when I bought my ported blower, it came with this lower, and I kept it because I was like, one day it would be super sweet to get a lower. And here we are. So this is a 9.45. That was basically free. I mean, used are only $100 anyways, but still nice to find a deal when you can. And then you know what this is, right? If you're watching this channel, you probably know what this is. This is a LSA specific ATI hammer. Very tight tolerances, which I like, which we like. So there we are. And then this guy makes her even bigger, bolts right to the front like that. So I got a 3-pulley system, right? So we went from, basically this is what size is on the car now, yeah, to this. Like, if there was a party pulley, that'd be it. So, I got the bolts for that, going to install this. So the ultimate goal here is to get the Nova at peak and run it and see what we can get the car to run. I want to see a 9, just for my own peace of mind. But I also want it to be at its full potential, right? We'll put all these parts on there. So I'm going to be taking the crank pulley off that one. I will put this pulley on, and then all of this stuff that comes off of here. So it's a F body spacing. All the stuff that comes off here is going to go in the BMW. For now, the BMW is going to be a stock LSA with a 5.3 at like pretty decent boost, right? Like 15, 18 pounds, depending on what I can do with headers and all that. And I think that would be a great car with just a standard T56 and a lot of like LS parts that I have laying around. The BMW is going to be sweet. Basically a CTSV, a German CTSV. I guess that'd be an M5. The last few weeks, been kind of just taking it easy, been trying to recuperate, trying to find the energy and the willpower to come out here and start working on this thing, because we definitely got a few things to do. So as I probably already showed you, we have a whole table of parts over here that need to go on the car. Those are fun parts. I am the type, I will eat the part of my dinner that I don't like first, and then I'll save the good stuff for last. So that's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna take this transmission out and we're gonna look into it and see if we can figure out if we can fix it. What is it gonna cost to have someone rebuild it, like Tick, for example? Even with their sales going on right now, it's kind of the end of the year. It was like $2,300 to rebuild the trans. Now I gotta ship it out there, I gotta wait, gotta ship it back. If anything happens, I'm still on them to fix it again, right? So my thought is, I'm somewhat capable, I'm willing to learn, and I have probably most of the tools that I need, and if not, I'll get them. I'm gonna take the transmission apart, see what parts I need, and then I'll fix it so that next time what happens, I can do it. So we're just gonna get this thing going and just see how far we can get today. Hopefully get the transmission out. I have done this a few times, so there we are. Let's get to it. So we were draining the fluid because I need to replace the studs on the driver's side. My lug nuts had bottomed out and screwed the threads. Just draining the fluid and came across this little guy at the drain plug, magnetic, obviously. That is the tippy edge of probably the ring gear, but I guess I don't know. That's probably not good. So I want to take the cover off. We'll have to inspect everything. All right. Okay, hello. It's a new year, actually, 2025, officially. So what are we doing today? We are making a mount for the transmission so I can work on this thing, so I can finally take it apart. I would normally take this off and show you. I'll show you after the fact, but right now I want to show you what I was doing. So it's a little wobbly. This is an old motorcycle stand that I made, legitimately 20 years ago. And it's just been kind of kicking around my shop for a while. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to reuse this. I already got everything carved out. But the idea that I have is to bolt this down to my workbench and leave enough of a shank here that I can rotate this thing as needed and just, keep it from falling off, but not keep it from moving. Because I'm sure that there's different sides of stuff I need to get access to. Having never done this before, I don't really know, but I watched a lot of videos. I'm almost certified on YouTube. And, I can take things apart like anybody else. Putting it back together will be the challenging part. Well, I put a nice big thick washer in there. You can see that it's loose. So you just take this guy somewhat easily. A little more difficult one-handed. But there it is. Stays up there. So that'll be nice. So we got front of the transmission. I had to, do some cutting, but that'll work. Okay, let's get this process started. All right. So we're gonna start taking stuff apart. I'm gonna feel my way through this and hopefully not totally ruin everything. And then we'll see what we need and we'll get it ordered and we will go from there. All right, so we got our first casualty. So here's the speed sensor, if you can see that or not, but we got a lot of glitter. There's a ton of metal stuck to it, which is usually a good sign that there's been a lot of metal running through the transmission. We'll see what the magnets show, but I'm guessing they're gonna be a lot more fuzzy than this. All right, here we go. Reverse looks fine. Bearing feels good. All right. You know, maybe up so high isn't the best, but that's all right. Bring it a little down. More down. Just a little tap, baby. Yeah, feels gross. Doing what we can do tonight. Got it. Nice and gentle, didn't hurt a thing. Nice and gentle, didn't hurt a thing. All right. She looks good, not even scratched. Okay. All right, well, welcome back. So I had some dinner, had some thinking time, and I have discovered nothing. I looked online, and it seems like the T56 Magnums, which is what this is, if I didn't say that yet, it's a little bit different in the 5th and 6th gear cluster, the counter shaft, I should say. But everything that I've seen online says that it should just pull right off once you have snap ring out, which is laying right there. So I'm not exactly sure. You can see that's about to bust off there. Smart money's on putting eye protection on, because you just never know, especially when it's up at your damn face like this. Okay, I'm gonna go look at the part diagram and just see if I can figure out what this part is called that I can't get off, because it seems like, if you can see this here, this gear has a snap ring up on top that has been taken off, and then I put a puller on it to try and get it off this shaft, this counter shaft, and it's not moving, which I find to be weird because it seems like it's the only thing that's holding all this stuff together. Now, I could just need more beef, but I don't want to do that because the edge of these teeth are the only thing that I'm pulling on. So I'm gonna go do some more research and then we'll come back if I have an answer. Thanks. All right, so I did some looking, did some reading, and it says that some people have had issues where they will bust the teeth off of this idler gear, which is not what I want. But they said what you can do is you can protect the shaft threads by putting a 12mm in there. And then you're supposed to put a hose clamp around all the jaw, or 3 jaw, what? Oh, that spin. Arms to keep them from coming apart. So we'll see. All right, so we're going to protect the shaft. It's always important to protect your shaft. And all the various things. So let's do this. hey, dummy, maybe just put the transmission on the ground so that it's easier to work on. And to that I say, it's probably a good idea. However, I just feel like at some point there will be a benefit. Bent the bolt. Or the bolt was already bent. That there's going to be a benefit to being this high and at eye level soon. I hope. But I don't know. So yeah, you're probably right. How does it feel to be right? That one's removed. I think I got it. It's at least out of the damn groove. Wow, this has been such a pain. Okay, we have a snap ring out of a receiver. Oh my god. What was that, an hour? Whoa. You see this right here? What a piece of crap. Ugh. I don't know if this is like a super strong freaking snap ring or what, but dude, I think it's because it was upside down. So it had the tines pointed down and it was flat against something, so I couldn't get to it. Whoa, that was annoying. Okay. Got it. All right. 6th gear idler? Not totally sure. Okay, I did chip the smallest piece off of the edge of one tooth. I'm going to attempt to show you how small the piece is. All right, hopefully you can see there's just a little piece hanging at the end of the screwdriver. It's just tiny. Now, I wish I hadn't done that, but gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, so that is all of the pieces out of the tail shaft section. I'm still not really sure why the magnet won't come out. I wish it had just come right out. Okay. So that's all the bolts. Now I have to pick this up, put this on there without everything. Oh, pulling out. Oh. Let's try that again. That's the front, so that is good. About this way. Watch your toes. Yeah. Wasn't a lot of planning here. Hoping this just goes okay. Okay. There's definitely some wear somewhere because everything's coated in brown, black. As of right now, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't shift well into second. So I guess that's good news. But, you know, it's all apart, so anything that looks like it needs to be refreshed will end up getting refreshed. Feeling okay about this process. Like I said, it's always easier to take things apart and just put them back together. Maybe Maybe I'll get you here on the phone camera. Let me do that so you can actually see. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this is first gear. And if you just take a look at all of the items here, it all looks pretty good. And if we look at second gear, which I'm assuming is this one, I don't know, maybe it goes up. That would make sense if it went up into gear, but either way, like the teeth still look sharp, and on the whatever these are, I'm assuming, where are we at? Hello, finger. Hi, we were looking at the wrong one the whole time. Sorry about that. So this is second gear here. And those are the synchros for it, if they're still called synchros. And every one of those teeth looks sharp. And then this is third gear, I'm assuming. Now it's definitely got some wear on the edges. You can see it there. Oop, almost dropped the phone. On those guys, but I mean the actual tooth itself is real sharp. Yeah, this needs to be torn apart, inspected, but one thing they did say is you can replace these plastic sliders with bronze ones. I don't know if that's recommended, but Tix sure seem to think it is, so maybe we'll do that. Okay, until I figure out how to get this apart and figure out what is wrong, that's where I'm gonna leave you. All right, hi, hello. So new day. We are going to just take apart the main shaft and the idler gears and just see if we can see what's going on here. So according to the internet, you're supposed to just be able to rotate 5th, 6th, and reverse shaft. Comes right out. We're actually gonna put, is this safe? Safe as it possibly could be. Well, that's probably not how you're supposed to do it, but there it is. Precarious. Oh, I don't feel like the input shaft is supposed to come out at this point, but here it is. Okie dokie. So let's do this. And look at that, that just comes right out. All right, let me move you so you can see what we're doing here. So the theory is that I have possibly bent the shift forks, and the wear on the pads would be the indicator on whether or not they are bent. So if you can see here, there's some strange wear patterns. At least I think it would be strange because, oh, this one's broken. Oh yeah, that one's had some abuse on it for sure. Yikes. Okay, let me figure out how to get this apart, because this is not a standard T56. Be back with you. All right, so here's the situation. Looked into it. You do have to pull this bearing off. I don't have a separator that's big enough, so I will have to go rent or buy one. And I also don't have a puller that's long enough for that shaft anyways. So, all right, so it's like maybe 2 weeks later. I have some kits here that I hope can help. I'm just gonna do this real quick because this is a Sunday and I have other things to do that are not car things, unfortunately. So let's get these open up and just see if these bearing splitters are even the right size. I had kind of a tough time finding a larger one than comes in the kit that I already had, but I rebought the kit because mine was stripped. I got it for like a huge discount somewhere, like a garage sale, I think. But the actual pushing portion of it was stripped in the actual main portion. So I got that new, and then the extensions I'll need because the main shaft is so long. So let me get all this opened and we'll go from there. Okay, so I had already maxed out the extensions with the kit that I had, and I found I needed at least one more long one. So now I have it. So that's great. Is this the right size? Of course it isn't. What? Hey, there we go. You see that? Come on in here closer. How's that? That's pretty good. Okay. That's probably too tall. Again, too tall. All right, so the only chance of success today then is if this puller is the right size, which I doubt. Yes, but it's too short. What? Okay, well, maybe these threads are the same as the extensions that I have. Get out of here. Okay. Okay. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Here, back up. Jeez. Probably can't see nothing. So if we go, oh, we're gonna need a lot more extensions. Okay. Why's it gotta be so complicated? And that's not long enough. What if I use this? Nope. Also not long enough. What the hell? This one's longer, but I can't use, I'd have to use a nut. Like a castle nut. Not a castle nut, but a, one of these. Whatever this is called. It's not double threaded. Ugh. 2 threads? Is that even big enough? It's not even wide enough. So no, that wouldn't work. How do I feel a project coming on? Okay. The other option would be to tighten this down enough that maybe it will move the bearing, or maybe it will ruin it. What a waste of time and money. Wonderful. And really what I need is just a flat piece that goes across that's strong enough to... So I'm going to put this back in the transmission so I can monitor where the actual race is, but I'm almost positive this is either just going to ruin the bearing and not remove it, or it may move it. We'll see. Let's go look at my metal pile. I mean, yes, but no. All right, well, it seems like I'm gonna have to make a puller. More or less, this is kind of a custom application, and this stuff's just not gonna work. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm either gonna custom make something or try to find a stud of some sort that goes from 5/8 18, which is what this is, to whatever size this is. It's like 5/16, 3/8, something like that. And then I can use my puller assembly and make this work. But right now, this stuff isn't gonna work, unfortunately. So I will check in with you when I figure out what I'm doing, because I thought this was it. All right, you know what they say, if you don't have the right tool and you can't buy it, you might as well build it. I could not find an adapter that would go from 5/8 to 3/8 for my puller. So I'm just gonna make it. I'm gonna weld a couple nuts on these giant bolts here, and then we will just give it a tug, and hopefully the bearing will come right off. Let's get this welded. All right, so we have our adapters made. They're a little off-centered. I think it'll be okay. This is a 5/8 18 welded to 2 3/8 16 nuts. So it's a little bit too tall, but it's okay. We'll survive. There we go. Nailed it. All right, progress. Let's just scrub here and get back to... Hey, back up a little bit, would you? Jeez. Just kidding. All right, let's get this back to where we can put the parts down. Well, the teeth on this one look good, whatever gear this is. I really should figure out what all these gears are in the stack. Let's take this guy off. Oop, that makes sense. This says second on it. Oh yeah, those teeth are reamed. Okay. Well, that makes sense. I have printed instructions. I'm gonna go get those. Uno momento. All right, welcome back. So I have the disassembly manual over there. I don't have space for it over here. But it's basically saying that all this stuff comes out the other way. So let's just see about that. Let's take this snap ring off. So it's saying I need to remove this assembly here, which is third gear, as a piece, as a whole unit. And then, so that looks like they are here and pushing out. So just saying, I have a press. It's just large, and I don't think that these are going to require a lot of effort. So I'm just going to try with this first, assuming I don't screw anything up, or it doesn't look like I will. That definitely seems like it wants to break some teeth off. That's way off. Let's get bigger washers. Even though that's really not the right way to do this. All right, we got a couple aluminums and a couple steels. We're gonna mix and match and cross our fingers. This is not a good idea. And it's okay to do things if you say first they're not a good idea before you do them, right? That's how it works. Ew, this is a bad idea. We're gonna have to do it on both sides of the assembly. That's probably how I should have done the first time. We're learning here, okay? We're learning as we go. Is this easier than putting it in the press? I don't know. Probably not. Okay. Not my finest moment, but let's try it. I'm expecting this to fail. But you see, sometimes it just works. Because it's just an interference fit, not a press fit. Good. Okay. It worked, right? Can you even looking? Right there. It worked. Cool. All right. Let's take off third gear. Let's inspect third gear. Honestly, this doesn't look bad. All the teeth look to be in great shape. Yeah, these all look sharp and just like I think they should. Okay, good there. All right, so the guy I watched used a little tappy tap to get a lot of his stuff apart. And this dude rebuilds them all day long, so we're just gonna do that. We're just gonna give a little tappy tap. Well, the only other option is to pull it with the puller, which is gonna be 88 miles long to do this. Okay. Now that goes there. That's real long. Okay. Fingers crossed this works. There you have it. See? Even a blind squirrel once in a while. Okay. So let's square this thing up here. Now, should just, and it does. It just comes right off. Those teeth are mangled, not in good shape. Okay, let me get all this squared away, get my hands clean, and then I'll show you the damage. Because right now you can't see anything, and I'm sure you want to see it. All right, here's a quick overview of what we found. So fourth gear, get focused here. All the synchros look okay. All the ears on them are not chewed. So let's go to third gear. If you look there, all that looks pretty good. And then second gear, if you look, those are all rounded. Not having a good day. Move those over. Here's the actual slider. It also looks pretty dorked. Interesting that they go different directions right here, though. That seems weird. But you can definitely see where they've been machined over. And then on this side, they look fine, which makes sense. Okay. And then this is third gear, I believe. I don't remember. This one looks okay. I mean, there's definitely some wear in between, but for the most part, she looks all right. All right, so as you just saw, we have the transmission disassembled. Second gear is toast. I don't know if I'm going to end up replacing the blocker rings. I'm going to talk to the professionals and see if they recommend a while you're in there type situation, which makes sense. I don't really want to do this again, but now that I have, I feel a little bit better about the whole thing, which is great, because if I take the car anywhere that I need to service it on the road, I have the option to do so. We're going to order parts, we're going to clean everything, get it all ready to reassemble, and then I'll come back with you in the next video and we'll get this done. And then we'll work on this entire pile of parts. All right, so we're going to go ahead and end the video here. I ordered parts, but as you can see, we had some inclement weather. So I got a new slider. I'll put it up on the screen here. I got a new slider. I got a new second gear. I got bronze shift pads. I think there was another part that I had ordered as well. But that should be everything that I need to get it back in working shape, and then we'll throw it back together. We'll put it in the car and work on getting the other stuff installed in the next video. It's just kind of a lot of stuff to cover all at once, and it just would have made this video way too long. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and definitely look forward to the new update on the car. Hoping to at least get all the parts put in and then take it to the dyno once all the weather and stuff gets nice. It is still February here, and you know, obviously it's still got some things in store for us, so might be a little while, but we'll definitely get everything put in and see how it works.